Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. My name is Chris Abbott, and in this video, we're going to be talking about how to connect with church visitors, and I'm going to share with you a framework that we've used at my church to get 80% of our first-time visitors to join the church within 3 weeks. Coming up. Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. On this channel, we are giving you insanely practical ministry advice on how to grow your church with Facebook ads, church growth, and technology. And specifically today, we're going to be talking about what to say to new church visitors. So let's dive in. Okay, so I've got a lot of great tips to share with you in this video, but make sure you watch all the way to the end because we don't want to just make sure we're connecting with church visitors the first time. So we're actually going to share with you a couple of tips at the end here on how to turn first-time visitors into second-time visitors and get them back in the door. All right, number one, plan your visit. Now, let me ask you, have you ever been the new kid in a school? Right? I know I have. I actually moved in the middle of 7th grade, and literally as second semester started right after Christmas, I had to go to a brand new middle school. And so I went from a high school where I was popular, I had lots of friends, and I knew it was up, and all of a sudden I was like the weird new kid, right? And so it's so awkward walking into school for the first time, or a church for the first time, or the high school cafeteria. And that's why one of the best things that my school did is they actually assigned another student to walk around with me the first couple days. They showed me where my classes were, they introduced me to a couple other people, and just kind of gave me a tour of the school. That way I wasn't just blindly figuring it out. Well, that's exactly what we want to do with Plan Your Visit. We want to give people the opportunity to schedule an appointment to visit our church on Sunday morning, and then we're just going to put a friendly person with them to walk them around the church, sit with them in service, help them get their kids checked in, introduce them to a few people around the church, right? The most important thing here is we don't want to treat them like VIP, we want to treat them like family. All right, so what matters to a first-time guest, right? Well, they probably want to know, like, hey, where do I park? What do I do when I get there? Where are the bathrooms? Where do I check my kids in? So it's important to have lots of big, bright signage to let people know where to go. Right? A lot of churches will have signs that say, hey, if you're new, turn on your flashers, and then they direct you to new visitor parking or something like that, right? But if you don't want to do something like that, or if you don't have the team to do it, one of the best things you can do is just have big, huge visitor parking signs, and you want to put them up front. That way people don't have a really long way to walk inside the church, especially if it's windy or if it's raining or if it's snowing or something like that. All right, number 3, invite people to join your church's mission. So here's the deal. If you have an event coming up, or maybe if you have a food pantry, people don't have to go join the church and become a member to become a part of that. So if you're going out and you're serving your city, or maybe you're helping out at a local soup kitchen, or you're going out to do some construction in the neighborhood and help out some elderly people, then invite people to come in. And you can even say, hey, you don't even have to be a member of our church. If you're new, we'd love to have you. Come on out for Habitat for Humanity on Saturday, or hey, come on out to the food pantry. We'd love to have you. All right, number 4, meet the pastor. And this one is actually really, really important because 80% of people who meet the pastor on their first visit will come back for a second visit. So even if everything else goes awful, right? Maybe the band blew a fuse in the middle of worship and everything went silent, or maybe the lights cut out, or maybe you totally botched your sermon, right? Here's the great news. It actually doesn't matter. People don't care about any of that stuff. They only care about personal connection. So if you make sure to meet every single one of the guests every single Sunday, then 8 out of 10 of them are going to come back for a second visit just because of that personal connection. So figure out a way to make sure that you meet all the guests, right? You can invite people at the end of service to come up and meet you, or to meet you in the back by the guest center, or whatever works for your church and your DNA. But make sure that you give every single one of your first-time visitors an opportunity to meet you as the pastor, because 80% of them will come back for a second visit. Okay, so let's talk about Plan Your Visit a little bit. But before we do, I want to know, is your church using Plan Your Visit? Have you guys heard of it and you've been thinking about using it, but you've been nervous about launching it? Or maybe you tried it, but it didn't work? I want to know. Put it in the comments whether or not you've used Plan Your Visit, or if you're planning on launching it. And if you have any questions about it, let me know. We'll answer them down in the comments. All right, so what do you do when a Plan Your Visit first come in? Well, you want to make sure to contact the guest within 15 minutes, right? And here's why. Anyone who goes through the process of submitting their name, email, and phone number and scheduling an appointment to visit your church right? This is somebody who actually wants to connect with a human being when they show up. They don't want to just show up. Maybe they're a little bit nervous, or maybe they're not sure what to expect, right? But the reason they signed up for Plan Your Visit is because they want to connect. Now, what I recommend is that you call them within 15 minutes, right? Just introduce yourself. Say, hey, something like, hey, John, what's up? This is Pastor Chris. Hey, I saw that you planned your visit for this Sunday. I just wanted to reach out and introduce myself personally and answer any questions you might have about the church, right? So this is just a really easy, laid-back way to connect with them right away. And since a lot of people aren't going to answer a phone call that they don't recognize, no problem. Just leave a voicemail that says the exact same thing, right? And then you can follow it up with a text message that says basically what you said. Hey, John, this is Pastor Chris. Just wanted to reach out and introduce myself personally and answer any questions you might have about the church, like where to park or what to wear, right? Then the best thing about that is now people can respond with the type of communication they prefer. So if they like talking on the phone, they'll call you back. If they like texting, they'll text you back. All right, the next part is setting up the visit. This is how we do it at my church. So once somebody has planned a visit, we actually go on Facebook and we look them up, right? We try to find out, okay, is this person married? Do they have kids? What season of life are they in? And then we just try to match them up with a friendly person from our church who's somewhere close to that season of life. So if this looks like a college kid who looks like maybe they're 21 or 22 years old, and it looks like kind of a fun, spunky girl, then guess what? We try to find someone who's also in college, 21, 22, and we try to match up girls with girls and guys with guys if we can. It's also a great idea if you have a married couple coming in with kids, if you actually match them up with a married couple as well. And sometimes you're not going to have someone in that season of life. Maybe it's an empty nester and you don't have someone that, no problem, just grab a friendly person and meet them there. Again, the goal is just to eliminate anxiety and to make a personal connection with every single guest. All right, next up, once you've set up the visit and you've actually assigned a host to host them on Sunday, you want to make sure to send a reminder text message on Saturday night. I recommend doing this sometime between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m., late enough in the day that they're already thinking about the next day, but not so late that it seems weird that they got a text message at 11 o'clock at night. Right, so sometime between 4 and 7, just a simple text message that just says, hey, what's up, John? Pastor Chris here. Just want to let you know I'm excited about meeting you tomorrow. Man, if you can, try to get here a few minutes early. I'd love to connect with you, get a cup of coffee, and hear a little bit more about you. All right, the next part is the actual hosted visit themselves. So one of the best thing to do is just let your visitors know what door to come in, and you should have your Plan Your Visit host waiting for them at the front door. And again, we don't want to treat them like VIP, we're treating them like family. So it's like the long lost family that you haven't seen in forever. And the way I like to explain this is, it's kind of like if you'd been inviting your best friend to church for years, and all of a sudden one Sunday, they're like, okay, Chris, I'm coming to church, bro. Right? Man, I'd text them the night before and tell them how excited I am about the next day, right? I'd meet him at the front door. I'd introduce him around. I'd give him a tour of the building. I'd help him get his kids checked into kids service. I'd introduce him to some key staff and leaders. I'd make sure that he met my pastor, right? Because 80% of people who meet the pastor on the first visit will come back for a second visit. And then I'd have seats saved for him in the sanctuary and I'd sit with him, right? That's exactly what you're doing. It's like having a best friend waiting for you at the front door. All right, next up is the guest center. Now, even if someone planned a visit, you want to make sure to have them fill out a Connect card. That way, you know that you have their name, email, and phone number, and you can turn it into the guest center to get a free gift. All right, we found that one of the best ways to get people to actually turn this in is literally just by giving away something for free. So make sure, whether or not they're planning your visits or whether they're just a visitor who showed up for the first time, have them go to the guest center, turn in their guest card, and redeem it for some type of a free gift. And this is just another touch point for them to connect with friendly, smiling people in your church. All right, and then what do you do after the visit? Well, you have to follow up. And the best way to do this is with some type of an automated follow-up system, right? The first couple of visitors, you could probably stay on top of it and do it yourself. But by the time you've had 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 visitors, there's no way you're going to be able to remember how to follow up with every single person. So the best way to do this is with an automated follow-up system. Personally, I recommend Text in Church. It's phenomenal. It's awesome. It's only $37 a month. And if you want, you can actually try out Text in Church for free for 3 months. Just click on the link below in the description and you can actually try Text in Church out absolutely free for 3 months. And the best part is they already built a follow-up system for you. All you have to do is sign up and start entering in the information from your Connect cards. And last but not least, what to do with the plan your visit no-shows. Inevitably, when you launch plan your visit, some people are going to sign up, and even though they have the best of intentions, life happens, right? They woke up and the kids were sick, or they overslept and slept through their alarm, or their spouse had to go out of town unexpectedly and they didn't want to visit the church without them. Whatever it is, no problem. If someone signs up for plan your visit and then they don't show up on Sunday, the best thing you can do is follow up with them on Monday morning, right? The first thing you want to do is you want to let them off the hook, right? So they're probably embarrassed. They said they were coming, they scheduled an appointment, they didn't show. So you want to let them off the hook, all right? And so I've always found no matter what time of year it is, you can always talk about what a busy time of year it is, right? So you could say something like, hey, John, Pastor Chris here. Hey, man, I just wanted to follow up with you. Man, I saw that you missed it yesterday. Man, I tell you, I don't know if your life is anything like mine right now, but man, things are so crazy. I almost missed church yesterday and I'm the pastor. So anyway, I just want to reach out and just see, man, would you like to reschedule your visit for next Sunday? By doing that, by letting them off the hook and just showing that you're an actual person, right? Joking that, hey, I'm the pastor and I almost missed church myself yesterday, haha, right? People are going to love it. You're going to let them off the hook. And most people will actually say, yes, oh my gosh, thank you so much for reaching out. The kids were sick. My spouse had to go out of town. We overslept, whatever it is. And they would love to reschedule their visit for the following Sunday. Hey, so if you liked this video and you found it valuable, man, would you consider sending it to some church leaders or some people on your staff, or maybe some other pastors that might need some help in finding ways to connect with new church visitors?